in our district. Additionally, secure volunteers are background checked. That's our mentors or anyone who works individually with students are also checked. We have currently 4 school resource officer positions in the district that cover the high schools, and then the other 2 circulate between the junior highs, and as you know, that's something that was proposed by the Citizens Committee as well. And then we make, out of the maintenance department, we make site expenditures like light replacements, fence repair, things like that, safety repairs throughout the year. So what are we proposing in the future? As part of the millage proposal, again, we've talked about, and you'll see this again in a minute, but alarm upgrades, fire and intrusion, and that's something that our systems, frankly, could use modernizing and could be updated, so we're looking at that. Controlled access, which is the card reader type system to limit access to those that have those, and also to control our keys, and so which doors are able to be accessed by which staff members. Exterior site lighting improvements for parking lots and buildings at night, and that's something we talked about even with the camera system. You need adequate lighting so that you can see who's in the area, and that's also something that law enforcement will tell you minimizes issues at night if you have lighting. Secure entry is something we've talked about as well at all campuses, tornado shelters, and then walls and doors at the elementaries. And although in the proposal you'll see that we have the controlled access and the secure entries at the controlled access, secure entries, and then the wall and door program separated out. If you take all of the items out, including the secure entries at the high schools and all other items that are related to safety and security, it's right around $35 million, or about a third of the full millage proposal that you're seeing that's dedicated to a safety and security measure. So it may not be broken out exactly like that on your sheet, but if you pull it out of the projects, that's what you get. So we wanted to be sure to share that with you as well. And that is my presentation. Any questions?
I think the last time has been this week talking about safety, and it's my understanding that the safety piece in terms of timing is really at the front end of the schedule. Is that correct? All the things we're proposing here are really at the front end of the schedule for all the projects that will be done.
Yes, it is, and we're going to show that schedule as part of the millage proposal presentation as well. But yes, those are things that can be done within the first year to 2 years of that program.
Okay, thank you.
You've mentioned a lot about threats that are coming from outside the schools, in the schools. But what are you going to? Do you have any plans to address safety issues that arise out of the classroom? One of the big issues that we've had is with our having a lack of resource officers. That we have teachers that are tasked with handling some students that are beyond unruly. I mean, what types of plans do you guys have to making the teachers safer and the classroom safer?
We have talked about, one of the things we've talked about is training, and really looking at our training program that's available for our teachers and making sure that they have the tools that they need when they deal with those types of situations.
I know there has been some concern expressed to me by teachers in the junior high and high school level that they're having to deal with some students that when they send them off to the principal's office, it's 30 minutes later they're back in class. And from a resource, or from how do you plan to address that?
That's something we can certainly take a look at.
Sure. Well, one of the things that we talked about in our earlier proposal, and one of the things that we're still committed to, that's been on the list of priorities, although not included in this proposal, is to continue to increase the number of school resource officers that we have. You remember that in December we also had a preliminary conversation about mental health and some of those resources that we need to bring to bear that are available in the community. So We're certainly going to continue to work on those issues also. But really, the focus more on the proposal at this point is that those physical security pieces that we're having to backfill a little bit, because we're not quite at the same standard as other school districts and schools.
So how many resource officers do we have in the district?
4.
What would you see as a good number to have?
Well, what we had discussed was having, and we can continue to talk about that, but we talked about wanting to have one for each of the high schools and one for each of the junior highs that also shares some responsibility for circulating among the elementary schools. Thank you.
And I want to say in the past that we had the community resource officers on bikes in some of the neighborhoods a while ago. And I've spoken to some police officers and they really liked doing that. And I know their resources are a little tight as well, but they were doing community policing without us having that particular expenditure. So again, more of a partnership and collaboration with the police department currently and moving forward, I think that would help because again, de-escalation within the classroom of the teachers, of the principals, that's something we should be working on now to make sure our teachers don't feel offended, but can work in that type of setting.
Well, we want-
Parents would come in. So I want to ask some questions.
Sure.
If you're completely.